We're back. Go home show to Clash of the Castle. Like, subscribe, all that shit. This is a big episode for me, I think. All right, fuck it. Let's get to it. No more horsing around. CM Punk kicks off the show, calling out Mox. Instead, Finn Balor comes out and says, "Now listen here. Last week I pinned you. I know you're not out here about to ask for another title shot. Back of the line, pal. You know me so well. No, I'm not going to ask you for another title shot. I'm going to earn it. Eric already told me that tonight in the main event, me versus Mox, winner faces you next week for the championship. And when I beat Mox tonight, I'm coming for you." All right. Then we get this match. Stephanie and Lola versus Shayna and Zoe. Stephanie pins Zoe. After the match, Zoe's in the ring, just sitting in the middle of it. Looks sad that they lost again. Shayna comes up to her. Zoe puts her head on Shayna's shoulder, and Shayna immediately gets her into a chokehold and starts choking her out. A few refs come in to try to separate them, but can't. Shayna's locking in tight. She even goes back to her Becky Lynch feud and starts biting Zoe a little bit. Finally, security are able to get Shayna off of her, and the segment ends with Zoe being taken away on a stretcher. Alright, Undisputed Era locker room. Man, I can't believe I have to defend this title again. I have to go talk to Biggie. Maybe he can trade for us. Clearly, Eric has a problem with us. This is bullshit, Mello jumps in. Not only that, but we have to defend these titles against Roman and Jay. If only Adam was able to beat Roman. Adam Cole stands up and says, "Excuse me? If I remember correctly, it was your guy's fault. You weren't there. And Finn just left me." "Now watch your tone with me," he says, as he gets up in Mello's face. Mello isn't backing down, though. He stands his ground. JD gets in there and separates him. "All right, calm down, ladies. You're both beautiful. Look, we're on top right now. We have 4 championships. Cole, you're up. You gotta get that title off of Gunther." "All right, I will. You know what? I'm out of here for tonight. I gotta make a few business calls." Theory versus Braun. Braun comes in and shows no mercy, just completely destroying Theory, throwing him to the outside, slamming his head across the announce table, then into the ring post over and over. Braun Strowman wins. Bliss and Tiffany promo with Michin and Zelina. Bliss and Tiffany say they've been watching film on Liv and Raquel and Chemical X since last week, and they finally uh, hit the film even harder since they know they face Liv and Raquel this week. Uh, they've hardly gotten any sleep. Michin says they're overlooking them. Zelina says they should be worried about them and screw it. Why wait until next week? We're ready to fight tonight. Bliss is about to say no when she gets cut off by Tiffany and who says they're on. All right. New Catch Republic versus DIY. DIY hit their finisher on bait for the win. All right. Get a Roman and Jay promo saying they worked too hard to earn the titles that the Undisputed Era stole from them. They're going to do everything they can in order to take them back. And nothing is going to stop them. All right. Now Roxanne's making her way to the ring. Bailey is standing in Gorilla. They just stare at each other. Bailey just shrugs and says, "Just let me know," and walks off. Rox gets to the ring. Bree comes out. Bree starts saying, "These past few weeks have felt good, but not good enough. I keep thinking back to Money in the Bank, when Nat had you in that sharpshooter, and I had you in that crossface, and I just can't help but think that it would feel so good to truly embarrass you. Now I know, now I know what you're thinking. How could you possibly be truly embarrassed? I want to make you tap. Let's make this a submission match. Your crossface versus my yes lock. What do you say? Rox looks around. No one is around but them. Wow, you really are an idiot. You think that I would ever tap out to you? You're just making it easier for me. At Clash, I'm not going to be embarrassed. I'm going to be embarrassing you. You want a submission match? Fine. You got it. But know that when it's all said and done, you're going to have to wake up the next day, look yourself in the mirror, and look at a loser. Bree just claps, and from behind, Nat and Nikki come out, start beating down Rocks. Nat once again locks her in the sharpshooter. Bree at the same time locks her in the yes lock. Nikki mocking Rocks, just picking her hand up and slamming it against the ground like she's tapping out. Alright. CM Punk backstage walking when he runs into Paul Heyman. He stares at him for a second and says, "So you're there, wise man, huh?" "Yes, yes, I am." "Hmm. What about being my friend?" "You are my friend, Punk. It's just that, cut the shit. Last week, your people cost me my match, and now I have to go one-on-one with him tonight. Not just to earn another title shot, but to get my revenge. Look, Heyman, if you don't want to be on my side after everything I've done for you, then I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Hopefully I see you out there tonight, and hopefully you make the right choice." Alright. Zelina versus Tiffany Bliss. The NC's Meechin and Bliss in the ring. Zelina starts trying to distract the ref. Tiffany sees this. She gets off the apron. She goes over to Zelina's corner and pulls her down. Zelina starts getting into Tiffany's face. They start brawling on the outside. The ref is looking at them, telling them to break it up. As this is happening, Bliss hits her DDT, goes for the cover. The ref isn't watching. Bliss looks around, sees what's happening, goes to the outside, smacks Zelina with a big forearm, dropping her. Bliss tells Tiffany to stop distracting the ref because she had the match won. Bliss goes back to the ring. Machin starts getting up. Bliss goes for a clothesline. Meechin ducks, grabs Bliss' arm, is able to hit Eat Defeat, goes for the cover. Tiffany goes to break it up, but is held back by Zelina as the ref counts 1, 2, 3. Here are your winners and new women's tag team champions, Meechin and Zelina Vega. Oh, okay.
Wow. Okay. Wasn't expecting that.
Nope. I was like, fuck it. Let's do something crazy. Okay. Backstage, Duquesne Republic are icing up when Fraxium come in the frame. Well, that didn't go. Well, that didn't go your way, now did it? Be nice to them, Axiom. They just learned that they are, in fact, not the best team on Raw because we are. Fraxium stays on top. Pete stands up off his seat and says, "I'd like to see you two do better against DIY. They aren't exactly a walk in the park. A walk in the park. You know what? We'll take we'll take you up on that offer. But next week it's gonna be us getting our hands held high." Okay. Chelsea and Piper are in the locker room when Rhea comes in. "You keeping that thing warm for me?" Rhea says about the title. "You wish. I am the greatest, prettiest, youngest, most fantastic, most athletic, bestest, prettiest, most agile, funniest, bravest. Oh, and did I mention prettiest yet? I'll throw it in anyways. Prettiest women's United States champion of all time. And the only way you will win this title is by prying it out of my cold, dead body." You know, that can be arranged. I'll see you at Clash. Rhea turns around and gets hit with a massive chair shot in the face by Bianca. Bianca points at Chelsea and says, "This is a warning shot to you. Nothing is going to stop me from getting that title off of you. See you at Clash." Oh, and you might want to get a doctor to help her get her out of here, pointing at Rhea. Main event time. CM Punk versus Mox. Punk is in the ring, waiting for Mox to make his entrance, staring down the ramp. Mox comes out alone. No Heyman by his side. Punk looks relieved about that. The match starts, and right away these men try to start going for the KO. The N sees Punk getting beat down. When he turns the tide, he hits his running knee strike in the corner, followed by the Bulldog. Starts calling for the GTS. Roman's music hits. Roman and Jay making their way down. And by their side is Paul Heyman. Punk is distracted. Mox goes for the roll up. Punk kicks at two. Mox rushes him. Punk gets him on the shoulders. Hits a GTS. Goes for the cover. One, two. Heyman puts Dean's leg on the rope. Or Mox's leg on the rope. Whoops. Freudian slip. Punk is in disbelief. Roman's just laughing. Punk starts to make his way to the outside to confront Heyman. When Roman and Jay get in his way, Punk yells at Heyman, "I thought I could trust you." Punk then goes back into the ring. He gets hit with a paradigm shift. Mox covers. One, two, three. Afterwards, Roman gets a chair, brings it to the ring. Punk is getting up slowly. He's on his knees. Roman yells at him, "Acknowledge your tribal chief now." "You see that man right there?" he says as he points to Heyman. "That's my wise man. He works for me, not you. So I'm going to tell you one last time. Leave us alone." But you never listen. So I'm going to have to beat this lesson into you. Roman starts getting ready to swing the chair. Punk has a look on him that says, "Bring it." Meanwhile, Heyman looks petrified. Roman's about to swing. He goes for it. Heyman gets in the way. Roman stops his chair swing before connecting. He asks Heyman, "What are you doing?" Mox and Jay look at Heyman suspiciously. "Look, you don't have to do this, please, my tribal chief. I'm begging you. He'll leave me alone. He'll leave us alone." And why the hell do you think he'll do that? He's never done that before in his life. Because this is it. This is me repaying my favor to him. I saved him, and now I owe him nothing. Roman looks conflicted. He's about to say something when the Undisputed Era come in from behind and attack them. Finn, Melo, JD, and Nakamura all jumped in New Shield. Heyman runs out the ring and Punk leaves with him. Punk has a hand over his shoulder and the Undisputed Era wreak havoc to end the show. That is
Okay.
Raw. You want to talk about booking matches or winners that you didn't think would win? Let me tell you, you ain't talking that one.
Yeah. So I have to manually fix that because I just immediately selected Tiffany and Bliss to win. I was like, yeah, that's I'm just gonna get ahead of myself here. Tiffany and Bliss are winning this match, and then you're like, oh, Michin and Zelina win. It's like, okay, let alone do I have to make Michin and Zelina a tag team? I now have to go into the championships and select them to be the new tag champs.
What do you mean? They were already sure you didn't put the title on the line?
I chose the wrong team.
No.
I chose Tiffany and Bliss to win because I was like, there's no fucking chance this
Oh.
title goes to these two.
Uh,
Welcome to SmackDown, the last show before Clash at the Castle. Biggie opens the show this week and says, "Tonight we're going to start the show with a contract signing between Seth Rollins and Swerve Strickland for the world title match at Clash at the Castle." Biggie then introduces both Seth and Swerve down to the ring. Seth grabs the mic first and says, Swerve, last week you helped me realize something. You see, you helped me realize that maybe me being in WWE so long has blinded me to the outside world. When you left here, you were just a kid. I remember seeing you backstage and thinking, wow, this kid has something, but he just hasn't found it yet. Then you got released, and look at you now. You found whatever you were missing and came back here a man. The only lie you said last week was that the rest of the wrestling scene was on the same level as WWE. They're not. WWE is and forever will be the top dog in wrestling. To be a main eventer here for as long as I have takes serious talent. It only takes some name value to be a main eventer in those bingo halls you are headlining. You may think you're a main eventer, but at Clash of the Castle, I'm going to show you what a true main eventer looks and wrestles like. Seth then signs the contract. Cameras look at Seth, and in the background at the top of the ramp, you see Karrion Kross's hourglass just sitting there. Swerve then grabs the mic and says, Seth, you can't possibly be this naive. Look, I understand you have spent the past decade plus of your career here, but you can't possibly just be this naive. So when people like Cody Rhodes went and reinvented themselves, did you sit there and think they didn't deserve to be main eventers? How about someone like Drew McIntyre? You've gotten the chance to experience firsthand the man he has become. Do you think he just figured it out, or maybe, just maybe, there's a good amount of talent outside this place and they work their asses off to get better? You see, at Clash, I'm going to be the man that humbles your egotistical ass. I'm going to show you that I deserve to be here where I'm standing. I am taking your world title. I am taking your spot on the card. And you may think you're good, Seth, but at Clash, I'm going to show you the main eventer I have become. Swerve then signs the contract, and Seth picks the mic up and says, Swerve, you talk a big game. I just hope you can back it up. He then gets up and leaves. Move into the opening match tonight, Asuka versus Ember Moon. First match in the fourth round of the women's IC title tournament. Um, Asuka is a woman on a mission in this match, dominating Ember Moon. Ember has a moment where she gains some momentum and goes for the Eclipse, but Asuka just catches her out of the air into the Asuka lock, and Ember taps out. So Asuka earns 5 more points by winning another match via submission. Asuka comes backstage after the win and celebrates with damage control, but Io then questions why Asuka was out there last week during her match. Asuka says she was just trying to show support. Io says, well, your support cost me the win. Asuka says it was not her intention. Io still seems upset, and Kairi and Dakota tried to ease tensions. Io says, just don't cost me again tonight, and we won't have any problems. Ethan Page and AJ Styles are then interviewed ahead of their tag match against the Authors of Pain. Ethan says tonight is one step closer to the tag team championships. We start building our legacy as the greatest tag team of all time. The New Day then come into frame and says, you know, we can respect a couple of guys wanting to build up a great legacy, but you are far off from the greatest of all time. Kofi, how many tag title wins do we have? Kofi responds, 9. And how many days total have we been champions? Kofi says 771. You see, we have built a legacy that stands the test of time and can be called the greatest of all time. You guys can have aspirations, but don't throw that phrase around when you don't even have one day as champions yet. Also, how can you guys have these aspirations if you don't even have a team name yet? Ethan says, "Well, I throw the phrase around because I want people to start understanding that that's what they are getting and speaking that's what they are getting when they look at us." And speaking of team name, AJ, I have great news. I have finally come up with a name for us. I've already filed the patents, and going forward, we'll be known as the Phenomenal Egos. Ethan Page has a huge smile across his face, and AJ just looks at him with a level of disgust, then just sighs and starts heading towards the ring. We move into Phenomenal Egos versus Authors of Pain. Phenomenal Egos pick up the win and earn the title shot for Clash at the Castle. Ricochet comes backstage upset with the Authors of Pain when they come across Karrion Kross. Kross says to Ricochet, "What's going on, buddy? I leave you in control of my monsters and you let them lose their tag titles. Now they lose a number one contenders match to a startup tag team. No disrespect towards AJ, that man is a legend, but Ethan Page? Come on. That man is all bark. He can run his mouth with the best of them, sure, but he shouldn't stand a chance against Akim and Razor. Look, as you can see, I have become Mr. Money in the Bank, which means I am one step closer to becoming world champion. And once I achieve that, then I plan on coming back here and fixing the house that you are seemingly trying to destroy. Ricochet says, look, I'm not trying to destroy anything. Things happen, but I promise you I'll get those tag belts around the waists of AOP sooner than later. Cross says, okay, well, I'll give you until I become world champion. And when I come back with my world title, AOP better have the tag titles. If they don't, then maybe I need to reconsider your part within this group. Kevin Owens then comes down to the ring and calls out Braun Breaker. Kevin says, Braun, at Clash you have earned yourself your last shot at my US title. After Clash, there's no more opportunities. When I beat you, I want your word that you're going to leave me alone. Braun laughs and says, after Clash, it's not going to be me chasing you anymore. If you want me to leave you alone, fine, I can do that. Just understand I am taking that US title home with me. For the past couple of months, I have had to deal with your nonsense, trying time and time again to take me out of the picture, and to be honest, I'm sick of it. Braun then attacks Kevin Owens and they brawl. Braun then gets the advantage and gets Kevin up, and it seems like he is going to hit the Steiner screwdriver when security rush in and pull Owens down, whilst also pushing back Braun Breaker. Kevin walks up the ramp with his title in his hands with a face of shock, realizing what Braun was trying to do to him. We cut backstage. Charlotte is interviewed about Cora Jade when Becky Lynch immediately interrupts her. Becky says, look, we all know what you're going to say. You're going to talk about being the queen and how Cora is a brat, but let me tell you that there's more to this brat than meets the eye. She put me through one of my toughest fights of my career, and I think you'll soon learn that she's better than you think. Charlotte says, well, I need you to understand that there's levels to this, and you're simply not on mine. Last time we met one on one, I beat you. You're less than me. So sure, Cora beats you, but there's no chance she beats me. Now, excuse me, I have someone waiting in the ring to bow down to me. Charlotte goes out. Charlotte versus Ivy. Charlotte wins, lol. Cora Jade comes out after the match and says, Charlotte, you need someone to humble you so badly, and thankfully for you, you have a match against me at Clash at the Castle. So just like I did to Bayley, just like I did to Becky, I am going to beat you. You see, you used to be a threat in this women's division, but now it's run by me. I am the top player. I am the women's champion. So enjoy your last night thinking you're still something, because at Clash I will humble your ass. Charlotte grabs a mic and says, Sweetheart, you can't possibly think you're going to win. I have been doing this since before you were even a teenager. I have beaten them all. You're just another cog in the great legacy of Charlotte Flair. So instead of me cherishing tonight, how about you go sit in your hotel room and enjoy your last night as women's champion? Because come tomorrow, you will learn just how good I am. Charlotte drops the mic and goes to walk out. Cora turns her around and goes to hit Shaded, but Charlotte double legs her and locks in the figure four, then transitions to the figure eight before Becky comes down and breaks it up. We then cut backstage. Liv and Raquel are interviewed about now facing Zelina and Michin for the tag titles. Liv says honestly they're expecting Tiffy Bliss time, but Zelina and Michin may be an even easier challenge. Um, At Money in the Bank, I thought I would be able to walk out with the briefcase and the tag titles, but I was mistaken. And now at Clash, all I have to do is walk out with the tag titles and beat Zelina and Michin, which we both know we can do. I mean, who on that team is going to compete with the power of Raquel? At Clash, we walk in with nothing, and we will be walking out with the women's tag team championships. We then move into our next match, Io versus Paige. Io wins this match via submission using the Asuka lock, possibly sending a message. Um, After that match, Sami Zayn then comes down to the ring and calls out Bronson Reed. Sammy says to Bronson, I need to speak to you about something. I saw on social media last week, about something I saw on social media last week. You see, when I was leaving the show, I was unable to get a hold of you, and I didn't know why. Then I see this video where it appears that you and Solo were speaking backstage. Now, please tell me that the attack the Bloodline sent on me wasn't something you had planned. Bronson says, Sammy, I have no clue what you're talking about. I've been by your side all this time, and you think I would just turn your back just like that? Sammy, we're as close as brothers. I would never plan something like that. Bloodline Wolfpack then comes out and says, Sammy, the video saw was of me and Bronson speaking, but I just couldn't get through to my man. I kept telling him to trust the plan, but he keeps saying he has concerns about it. You then see Jacob and the Gorillas of Destiny circle the ring. Solo says, Bronson, sometimes you gotta suffer to see the light. Jacob and the Gorillas then get up on the apron, and Biggie comes out and says, We are not doing this. If you want to stir some things up, Solo, then how about we have a match? Bronson and Sammy, you two are going to team up against, well, Solo, who do you want to put in this tag match? Solo says, if we're having a tag match, then we're putting up the best tag team in wrestling today, the Gorillas of Destiny. Then have this match, Gorillas of Destiny versus Bronson and Sammy. Towards the end of the match, we see Bronson Reed go up top to hit a tsunami, but Solo gets on the apron and distracts the referee. Sammy heads over and starts brawling with Solo. In the meantime, Jacob shoves Bronson off the top rope. Uh, After Bronson hits the mat, God then climbs up top on two different posts and nails two post massacre. Tonga Loa hits a diving headbutt, Tama Tonga hits a splash. Tama then pins Bronson in the middle of the ring as Tonga Loa holds back Sammy. Gorillas of Destiny pick up the win. Speaking for too long. Just fumbling over words too often.
What? What a week.
What a week.